What's up, my dudes? So, some of you asked in the comments of the previous tier list, class tier list video, that we should do a tier list of Ragnarok Online second jobs in terms of which one is the most fun, or whichever ones turn up to be the S tier. So, let's try ahead and do that, right? I mean, it's not necessarily gonna be super accurate for Ragnarok Zero Global because we're gonna have so many class changes that it's pretty hard to get a hang on until we've actually tested them. So it's gonna be on the assumption that the classes do not change that much. But I guess let's get to it right away and figure it out as we go, right? So number one is Auto Blitz Hunter, and my opinion doesn't change over here from the Archer class before. It's still a boring class. It goes into B tier. It gets the job done, but it's still so boring. It's an auto-attacking simulator, so and even if something happens, it's not necessarily like, oh wow, my blitz happened. It's kind of like it doesn't work unless your blitz happens. So yeah, it I don't like it that much. That's my opinion. If you guys don't agree, if you agree, leave something in the comments. Tell me I'm stupid. Tell me I'm correct. Whatever else you feel like. Next build, double attack. No, not double attack. Double strafe. Hunter. Double Strafe is a A tier build, because with Hunters you got your buffs, so you got actually abilities to press, even though you're still pushed to using Double Strafe, which is the first job skill. As a second job, this kind of feels bad, but the fun in it is that it's actually really good. Like, your SP goes up as a Hunter, you got better scaling, you got more stats of course as a Hunter, so it scales better, like, it's nice. And last but not least, the Trap Hunter. And this is gonna be on the assumption that traps work the same as they do in Renewal. Because if they work in a way that they worked in Classic, it's gonna be a D tier, it's not even build. But if they work in a way that they do in reworked Renewal skills, as in the newest versions, then it's an B tier build for sure. No, maybe above the Falcon. Maybe above the Falconer. Like, the traps are way more interesting in the newest iteration, as you know, than they were previously in the classic versions. If you don't know about that, just wait and find out whenever Ragnarok Zero Global releases, because it's gonna be a lot more fun than you remember. But still, just a B tier build. Next up, the Knight builds, and I got 3 of them. If there's one more, I couldn't figure it out. If there is one more, let me know in the comments if I missed some builds. This is the auto-attacking knight. And I'm gonna go over here, into like above the trap hunter. Because the knight is cool, but you're still just a knight. You don't have your parries, so that kind of sucks. The survivability goes down, like, compared to Lord Knights. It's not nearly as efficient in killing, like, especially like AoE types of pulls, as a bowling bash or brandish spear will be. But it's fun. You can stack some autocasts on it. It has high agi, so that brings up the survival, which is nice. You don't die, but it's still an auto-attacking simulator. There really isn't a lot you can do otherwise. So yeah, B tier. Bowling bash build. I think bowling bash is boring, honestly, but it's an A tier build. It's a little bit boring, but it can be fun. If you go like full on bowling bash with like a two-handed sword that's really well refined, and you got all your great affixes, it's a fun build. I think it's okay. It's basic, and so many people are gonna be running that it's gonna get boring. That okay, here's another knight, of course he's bowling bashing. This sort of situation. But I think it's an A tier build. And same goes for Brandish Spear. Probably even better than Bowling Bash in my opinion, just slightly better than Bowling Bash, simply because as a Brandish Spear you get to use a shield if you use a spear that's only one-handed, which is cool. I like using shields, I like being able to survive more. But then again, what's more important, just killing the monsters in one shot or surviving their attacks for a bit longer? That's up for debate for you guys. Next up, performers. I didn't really classify performance as into different builds, because there really aren't any builds, or are there? Like, it doesn't matter what you build, you still get access to your songs, which are gonna be used in parties, and if you build for like Agi and Dex with more int, you can still spam double strafes. Unless we get like severe rainstorm or something in Ragnarok Zero Global, then there probably will be no distinction between the builds, really. So in terms of fun, this class is C tier. at best. It's cool in parties, you get to use their songs, but they're not very dynamic. You don't really do a lot. So yeah, that's it. Next up, blacksmiths rather, not whitesmiths. So I've only really figured out 2 builds that are viable. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I missed one. But there's the auto-attacking build, which goes into B tier again. It's a lot more powerful in my opinion than the hunter auto-attacking falcon, and probably also better than the knight auto-attacking, because you're a lot stronger. It's cooler. Like you get your sidewinder card and your axe and just smash things for so much damage so fast. It's really cool, but not nearly cool enough to go into A tier. And then the second, like, we don't have card termination, right? If we get card termination, I guess, in Ragnarok Zero Global, then it would be a third build that would probably go into A tier because it's really cool. But I'm not sure if we're gonna get that, so I only got 2 builds. And then there's the Forger. The Forger is like D. D at best. It's not fun to level them. Once you have them, it's also not fun to have them. In my opinion, please. You just sit in the city and just take orders from like people that pay you money. It's nice for making money for sure and selling your weapons, but it's not fun to play in my opinion at all. Next up, Crusaders. Auto-attacking Crusader with a crescent scythe. Fun. More fun than Knights, simply because you still get to use your support skills like auto guard, reflect shield, and whatever else there is, and spear quicken. You also got your spear quicken. So I suppose you can only get that many skills really, but still I think it's a lot more fun than the Knight, simply because there's a lot more interaction with the environment and with your skills than the Knight build. And here's the Crusader with a Grand Cross, so that means it's a Grand Cross skill. It's a C tier build for me. It's not fun. It is not fun. You go ahead, you grab a bunch of monsters, you take a bunch of damage, you kill yourself even further with the Grand Cross skill to do a lot more damage to like shadow property monsters and undead monsters and whatever else. It's not fun. I don't think it's fun at all. Kill me in the comments. It's good. Like, it does the job. It's very good build, for sure. It does a lot of damage, but the AoE is small. It's tough to build, requires a lot of gear, a lot of good gear, in my opinion, and yeah, it's not fun at all. And then there's the shield build, which is I'm gonna call the reflect build. So probably the least interactive build in the entire game, which would put it in the D tier. But at the same time, it's one of the most unique builds in the entire game. So if you manage to build like a Crusader that has like a Loli Rudy card in its armor that heals itself, you can just leave it AFK, alright? But for Ragnarok Zero Global, this isn't gonna be really a thing, because we got Auto Hunt. So that goes into D tier, unfortunately. And it really requires so much gear to be really cool to play that I don't think we're gonna get there. And it's not gonna be a viable build. Like, you would wanna have like Ifrit cards, you would wanna have like Bloody Knight cards, you would wanna have like Glory Ruris, all sorts of different stuff. So yeah, not very viable to get. And a full support, which would be the Sacrifice build. It's not fun to play, but it's very strong. Of course, everybody's gonna want that in like higher level parties. So if you prioritize party play, then your fun level is gonna be like here, because you're gonna always be wanted in parties for sure, right? But overall, it's not a fun build to have, because you can't really do solo stuff at all, I guess. So I'm just gonna place it in C tier as well, unfortunately. Next up, rogues. Rogues have so many builds that I decided to only do 3 and just elaborate on them a little bit more. So the first one is the Dagger Rogue. The Dagger Rogue is a B tier build, simply because unless you're using backstab, which you probably will, but if you want to just continue auto-attacking and maybe auto-casting with a melee weapon, that's gonna stay at B tier at best, simply because the clunkiness of melee combat in Ragnarok Online, and that's probably not gonna change in Ragnarok Zero Global either. The clunkiness of you having to move to the monster and the posy back of the monster and your character not reacting even though it's right next to the monster and not doing anything is always there, and it's always so annoying that it makes the build so not fun for me. Like when you're an Abyss Chaser or a Shadow Chaser later, in later iterations of the game, you always have some sort of gap closer that you can use and then start attacking the monster immediately, and then autocast a whole bunch of shit. But I don't think we're gonna get that, so it's gonna go into B. But at the same time, as a Dagger Rogue, you can build yourself as a backstab build, and backstab build is straight up A tier. So I don't really know what to say right here. I'm just gonna leave it here because the dagger build has access to backstab, which is great, and raid, which is great, and you can just be an auto-attacking build if you copy something cool, right? So yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave it here. And the bow goes to S tier. It's one of my favorite builds because it does the same things that the dagger does, but without the clunkiness of having a dagger. You cannot backstab. I mean, you can, but it does half the damage that the dagger does. You have your raid, easy access to elements. You still can copy. You still can autocast with a bow. If you get auto shadow spell, then it's gonna be crazy because you're gonna get like meteor storms that would autocast at range of everything on the map. That's gonna be amazing. Right? It's gonna be so much fun if we get that, right? And last but not least, with the rogues, it's the auto steal. Auto steal is gonna be so boring. It's probably gonna go to D tier right here, like at the very end, because it's gonna be clunky. Auto hunting exists. It's not gonna be fun to have a build like this. It's not gonna be efficient. You're gonna compete with so many different people on a map that you're gonna farm that you having to melee it, like go up to the monster, rely on your steal to proc, and melee the monster is gonna be so slow that everybody else is gonna kill 5 monsters at the time that you kill 1. I'm just saying. Brewer Alchemist. Yeah, the same thing as with the blacksmith. Same thing. It's not fun at all, in my opinion, to have. It's nice to brew potions sometimes, but just building that character is so bad. There's so much commitment, so much effort. Holy cow, not a good idea. Bomb Alchemist, like acid terrors and grenades. It's gonna be a B tier build. Probably, in my opinion, probably like at the top of the B tier. Because it's fun, the skills are reworked, they're strong, they're actually usable, you can solo a lot of stuff, and you still have access to your homunculus, of course. So you can supplement your damage with the homunculus, even though, you know, your skills require so much like time and item investments to actually work, because you gotta farm your acids, you gotta farm your grenades and all that, right? But in my opinion, this sometimes it adds to the RP of the class, and the role-playing aspect is built into the game. We're playing an MMORPG, right? The role-playing game. So that, you know, that's part of the reason it goes into B tier. In my opinion, I like Alchemist a lot. Last build that I came up with in Alchemist is something that I've used back in the day in pre-renewal on Iroh, and it's an auto-casting Alchemist with a fire blend or something similar like that, right? Of course, it's not gonna be super great, which diminishes the fun of it when everybody else is doing so much better than you. You're not gonna feel very well about your character, but overall it's a fun build to have, to just check out, because you get your autocast from your fire blends, maybe a CD in mouth, you got your homunculus, maybe you can get like a wind ghost card or something like this, and it's kind of funny. It's fun to have, it's fun to experiment with. Of course, it's not gonna be super strong, but it's just kind of clunky and fun to have. Monks, combo monk, B tier. Simply because, once again, you have to melee characters, monsters, and I don't think the skills are reworked. They might be a little bit. You might have more damage, but yeah, having to proc them and then proc them again and then proc them again is a hassle. It's probably not gonna be as good on auto hunting at all. So the amounts of levels, or the numbers of levels in which the monk, the chain combo monk, I'm gonna call it, loses in comparison to other characters, other available builds, is so much that the positives of the build kind of just fall away, like fall apart somewhere. So it's gonna be a B tier for me, probably right behind the Alchemist, because you still get, you know, a lot of utility out of the class itself. You got your warp portals, you got your probably mental strength as well, if you can manage to like build it up there, and you can still use finger offensive every now and then, so it kind of makes sense, but it's nowhere near an A tier, I guess. Now Ashura Strike is boring. It is a boring build. You're built for one job and one job only, and that job is gonna be bad. I think, unless Ashura Strike got extremely reworked or something, because the bosses have so much HP that your Asuras is not gonna matter at all. Yeah, the sustainable DPS of other builds right here is gonna outperform you long term at large HP targets almost every single time, I think. At least from what I've calculated. I haven't seen it in practice. And being locked into this one skill that hardly does anything else just makes the build bad, unfortunately. Next up, tank. Being a tank is boring because you don't do anything. And in terms of fun, that's not fun at all for me. I've tanked a lot. I've played Ashura for years, and I had to tank a lot. It's boring. Having to tank is boring. So yeah, unless we get some new skills, like I don't know, Tiger Cannon or something, and then we come up with new builds, would be, you know, then the monk builds are gonna stay where they are. Assassins. Assassins are fun, but then at the same time they're clunky. Like the dagger build, extremely clunky. It goes right next to all the other auto-attacking builds. Dual dagger build is hard to build. It's annoying to move around with. I mean, you got backslide, right? So it kind of makes it a bit easier if you're really good at backsliding. But still, you got no gap closers. You can use Soul Destroyer if we get that. I've seen that we get Meteor Storm, sure. I'm not Meteor Storm, Meteor Assault, this thing. But I'm not sure about Soul Destroyer. If we get Soul Destroyer, sure, why not? You can also incorporate that into your thing. But just being a dagger thing, you're not really that actively playing your character. It's auto-attacking simulator once again. Qatar build. Now Qatar build's a lot more fun. I'm gonna go A tier. Simply because you get to use Sonic Blow. You can still be built as like an auto-attacking Qatar build, blah 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 blah, with your double attack crits and all of that cool stuff. It's a lot of damage, it's very cool. But what makes it more fun is that not only is it strong, really strong, but it also can use an actual skill. You can actually use your Sonic Blow, which does a lot of damage. And every other skill in the skill tree as well, so you're not limited by anything. Unlike the dagger build, which is, you cannot use Sonic Blows with a dagger. Last build that I thought of, if we get Soul Destroyer builds are always an underdog in my opinion, in terms of fun. Like, if you build them correctly, and you one-shot the stuff that you want to one-shot, it feels so good, right? You just walk around, dead, dead, dead. It's so cool, right? But if you don't, and a monster is left with like 10% HP, now you're kind of like, okay, well, now I have to cast a whole other Soul Destroyer to kill that monster, and it's gonna cost me so much SP, and it just takes so much time to do as well. So it doesn't feel very good then. But I'm gonna place it right next to Combo Monk, because if it's built correctly, it's fun. It can be very fun. But unfortunately, it doesn't really benefit from any other skill in your skill tree. No EDP, no Sonic Blow, no nothing. So yeah. But yeah, it can be fun. Next up, Priests. Full support Priest is very fun to play, but it doesn't go into S tier. It goes into A tier, like one of the top A tier builds as a full support Priest. If we get a lot of party content, you're gonna have so much stuff to do. It's gonna be super fun to play. You're gonna use up all your skills. You're gonna use so many different abilities. It's gonna be so complex and so fun. You're always gonna have space in somebody's party. You're always gonna be wanted. It's all just positives. The only negative I can see is that you're kind of limited in terms of killing by yourself, just heal bombing maybe, but that's about it. Magnus Exorcismus, S tier. It's pretty much the same skill set as the full support priest, but you get to use Magnus Exorcismus as well. So you're sacrificing a little bit of other supportive skills just for, you know, having Magnus and being able to just destroy things, and maybe use Turn Undead here and there. But since Magnus has been improved, I don't think Turn Undead is gonna be a thing. It's a very fun build. It's complex, it requires your focus, it requires actual gameplay. It forces you, not forces you, but lets you use your entire skill set, which is a massive benefit. Like, what's the point of having a class if I'm only using like 2 skills at all, right? So yeah, in my opinion, S tier. And last build is the auto-attacking build, so the Battle Priest. Sorry. Battle Priest gets to be in A tier behind the Assassins, because you still get to use your skills, your Kyrie Relations, your Blessings, your increased Agi, and we're probably gonna get Duple Light eventually, which makes the build really strong too. and they're really good as they are, even without duple light. You just walk around and smack things, and you get to use. You still get the benefit of your entire skill tree, pretty much. The only thing is that you're running out of SP very quickly, because unless you stack yourself with like max SP items, then you can probably perform some supportive jobs as well, but probably not nearly as well as the full support, right? So yeah, in my opinion, it's an A tier build. It's gonna be very fun to have and to play, and I think I'm almost sold on playing the priest at this point. I'm still a little bit iffy if I want to play the rogue or the priest when the game releases, but I'm probably gonna go with the priest, and this will probably be my build, the auto-attacking priest. So yeah, last two guys, which are the wizard and the sage. I don't think there really are any wizard builds in terms of skills. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I always felt like wizard builds are more of a stat builds. So if you build yourself as a glass cannon, you know, or if you build yourself as more of a support with a lot more vit and all of that stuff, right? But I figured I would make two builds for skills builds, as in the Stormgust priest, which would be Stormgust wizard, which would be your regular wizard, right? Focused on the elemental skills. It's always fun. Wizards are super fun. Always A tier. Probably above, definitely above the assassin and the rogue. Probably above the knights as well. And same goes for Napalm Vulcan. I'm almost positive we're gonna get Napalm Vulcan, which is massively overpowered skill. And so it's gonna just, and it's an AoE too. It's a smaller AoE, but it does kill like monsters in a very like small proximity to your target. So it's gonna be very fun too, very efficient, very strong too. No real downsides. You still have access to all your other skills. So yeah, I don't see really why wouldn't it be an A tier build. No, not gonna lie, it probably even an S tier build. Just saying. Just because Napalm is gonna be so strong if we get that. And the very last job on the list is the Sage. I'm not gonna lie, I've never played a Sage in pre-renewal. I've seen them, but I haven't really played them. That's it. Like, I know there's a full support build, and from what I've seen, it looks boring. It probably feels boring too, unless you like just casting land protectors and dispels on monsters, and maybe support with some bolting every now and then. Yeah, I'm probably gonna place it here simply because the leveling part of it is gonna be still viable, because you're still gonna cast your bolts, you're still gonna use a lot of skills that you have at your disposal, which makes it a lot more fun than the other builds right here. But yeah, probably not nearly as fun as the bolting guy, the auto bolt guy, or the regular bolting guy, which I decided to include in one image, and they all go into, I think they're a lot more fun than Crusaders auto attacking. Surely they're, I'm not sure if they're more fun than blacksmiths, so I'm gonna place them right here at the B tier, and that's gonna be it for me. Anyway, this is just my tier list. If you guys agree with it or not, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. And hopefully I'll see you in the open beta soon of Ragnarok Zero Global. So yeah, see you there. Leave a comment.